everybody. It's Jessica Benham here, your Democratic nominee for the 36th House District, and I'm here with Councilman Anthony Coghill to talk about some of the projects that are happening in the areas that our districts overlap. Thank you so much for joining me today, Councilman.
I was so excited when Blake said, Jess wants to set up a call and talk about city farms. I said, no shit. I said, good. I said, great. I said, I'm always happy to talk about city farms. Great. Well, first of all, let me say, I don't know if I had a chance to officially congratulate you.
Oh, thank you.
Your win. Yeah. So congratulations. But I really am looking forward to working with you.
I'm incredibly excited to work together with you. I think, you're all about those really basic things, right? Addressing food insecurity, fixing flooding, fixing potholes, all those things that are so important. So yeah, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts.
The big things, I guess, in Carrick, which we share, is Berg Place.
It's been a frequent topic of discussion at the Carrick Community Council meetings.
Absolutely. So Berg Place, if you ever get a chance, you have to there's a little driveway that goes up and takes you back there. It's like as big as 3 football fields up there, Jess. Nobody has been doing anything. It's a screwy situation because the guy, Prasad, who is kind of a problem.
Oh, I know him well. He also owns St. Henry's Church up in Arlington, which has been an absolute headache for me and the local community.
Yeah, he's got his hands everywhere. It's so frustrating to me because it's just sitting there and it's like a haven for kids and, get running in and out of there, probably drug use, all of that. On a good note, we did get St. Basil's torn down, the school. So we got that knocked down, which is great. It's just a big piece of grass, looks beautiful, Berg Place is the next on my agenda for Brownsville Road. And with your help, I think you and I together, we can make mountains move, okay?
Absolutely.
You on the state level and me on the city level. So that's something I hope we can jointly work on.
I would love that.
Yeah. The other things in Carrick are, the drug use, of course, has been off the charts. However, I think the stats will show that we've turned. I don't know if I don't want to be too optimistic, but it looks good. And I was a big supporter of Prevention Point. I don't know if you're familiar with Prevention Point. Okay.
I am. Yeah, they've got that site out in Overbrook now.
That's right. So that's one of many things that we were doing just to kind of combat the drug use up there, just to help prevent people from dying, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah, and it does seem, the stats were reflecting that it was getting better. It looks like it's getting a little worse under COVID, which I think is understandable. A lot of the supports and services that people were relying on either, stopped or went virtual, which just wasn't as accessible for people. So I'm hopeful, once we get out of this, that we'll be able to get back on the right track again.
I agree. So I look forward to working with you on these issues. And
honestly, in the areas where you and I overlap, and for me, in District 36 broadly, we have a lot of strong communities, and there's a lot of potential too. Things are turning around, and you can see the potential there.
Yeah, it really is. With the Bhutanese and the Polish, so that to me is a positive. At the same time, I would love to engage them. On a level where hopefully we can meet with them and say, hey, we're here to help. What can we do for you? Along with you. I would love to do that up there.
I would love that as well. And the folks from the Bhutanese Community Association are great. Certainly, they're very invested, especially in our small business community. And and opening new businesses, which is I think really exciting, especially for that Brownsville Road corridor.
Yeah.
And I think small businesses are at the heart of our economic recovery after this.
I couldn't agree with you more, Jess. Are you familiar then with the Bhutanese? Have you worked with them in the ways?
I have, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, good. I need you to bring me in then, I guess.
I would be happy to. Yeah, I have some good friends who are connected there, so they were happy to introduce me when I started running, and so
that's great. Those are the things that kind of stick out at me, and I think if 2 is better than 1.
just so excited. I've got lots of energy and enthusiasm to bring all of the state resources back to the district. So I'm so excited to work with you.
I love it, Jess. I love it. And I'm glad I've got somebody young and excited to work with right now. So let me get to the farms, if I could.
Yes. Okay. So I want to hear all about your kind of initial motivation for what brought you to the idea, and then kind of where we're at in the process too.
Great. I hope to have your involvement in it, tell you the truth.
Yeah,
okay. So it started by the pandemic, of course, and the lines at the food bank. And as council, as a body, we sat down, and Teresa Kill-Smith, our president, she was like, well, we need to start gardening, create garden spaces for these abandoned lots and city lots and things like that, Now, after all the talk and Deb and I started looking for money, I thought, oh my goodness. Now, I don't know. Are you familiar with Brookline Park there? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm partially excited about it because it is just barely in House District 36. And I'm by a block.
I know it is. Yes. I think the entire park is in your district, I believe.
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, right. Which is great. I'm glad. I really am. And, but really, Jess, I try to explain this as this. First of all, where it sits, when you're going down Brookline Boulevard, you will see this farm. You know what I mean? It's going to be a big area, not too big where it's unmanageable, but big enough where we're going to produce like some serious food,
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about so Hilltop Urban Farm has, I think, about half an acre that they're growing right now, and they're donating out of that, I think, 200 pounds a week to the Brashear Association's food pantry.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is great. And that's really our goal. And our goal is to give it away. Just growing food because just really growing food is just a fringe benefit for me on this. It's really an education center, That's the way I envision this thing. I envision school buses coming there from all over the city, kids getting off, a full-time farmer there saying, this is where the corn is. This is where you know what I mean? And just teaching them basic farming skills.
I mean, what a good opportunity for city kids, to be able to go and learn about where their food comes from.
Absolutely. And there's still obstacles to overcome. And I said to Deb, I'm recruiting just to get her on board with it.
Count me on board. I really think, I think that the foundations locally will be interested. I think we could also approach some of the bigger, nonprofits or corporations. So yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity. I think it's great, for the neighborhood and for the district, both in terms of, I mean, the growing food is important, especially making sure that our food pantries have access to fresh produce. I think that's huge. But I think also, having that educational setting for the kids is really important. Partnering, with the local elementary schools and kids need that. I think it's also about making sure that South Pittsburgh gets the investment that it deserves. I think often when we're talking about city budgeting processes that our neighborhoods get left behind.
Thank you. You're absolutely correct. I could tell you. And I learned that the hard way being in here. Let me ask you, you're going to keep the office up there? Are you going to have an office?
No? Yeah, I plan to keep an office in Carrick. I don't know that I'll be keeping his office, but there's a couple, nice storefronts in kind of that area of Carrick. I've got a little bit of my eye on. I think I'd like to move up closer by the library.
You know what? I love that library. Love that library.
It's incredible. But yeah, in Carrick because it's right in the center of my district. You can pretty much get anywhere in the district within 10 minutes.
I'm keeping it in Carrick. I really am. We need you. We need some. We need that. We need you up there. Yeah.
I think there's so much that we can do as a team to make all of these neighborhoods thrive. I think there's so much potential. There are so many fun and exciting projects, whether we're talking about the farm or small business development. I am excited to get to work.
Well, I don't want to keep you all night. I could go on and on with you. We didn't even touch on things, believe me, that I feel we can do together and ways we can work together. But I'll save that for another time. I don't want to keep you all night.
I'm looking forward to it.
And Jess, we send a message there to across the city. Whereas, again, People don't expect you and I to sit down and start working together. We've already started working together, just talking about these issues tonight. We have a chance to do really good things and big things. I'm really looking forward to working on all of these things, but in any of these things with you.
I'm really looking forward to working with you too. And seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to do this today. And for those of you who are listening in, thanks for joining us.